picture this. You finish work, you've gone to the gym, you've had a shower, you had something to eat, it's mid-afternoon, you're feeling quite tired, and so you lay down on your bed. You tell yourself, come on man, just 5 minutes. So you go on your phone, you start scrolling, YouTube, Instagram, messages, all of this, and all of a sudden your brain is fried. You want to get up, there's a voice inside of you that says, come on man, we've got to do something. But you got no drive, you got no ambition, because you've just depleted your dopamine receptors. This is the trap that so many of us young men face. And I've been there. It sucks. But I wanted to share some powerful strategies that have helped me to overcome, or at least battle, that trap. Because it steals our focus. And as young men, this is so important if we want to get anywhere when it comes to our goals. So I wanted to distinguish two different versions of fun. So the first version is fake fun. So this is the fun that basically it's just stimulation, right? So this is the instant gratification. So things like scrolling, gaming, junk food, porn, all of these things are masqueraded as fun, but really they just make you feel empty. During lockdown, I used to play video games with my mate, and I would be on this Zoom call with my class, and I would keep my mic on mute, play the video game with my mate. Would be in a game or something, and then all of a sudden the teacher would call out my name, and so I was like, oh quick, so I'd exit out of the game, and then I would unmute my mic and say, oh here miss, here sir, and then mute, and then go back to the game. And even though it was fun in the moment, I was actually left feeling worse. I actually started to feel really depressed, and really just my brain was so saturated and so just it was just terrible, right? My brain was fried, and it was just such a bad way to live. That's what fake fun does. It cures your boredom for a moment. You feel like fun. It feels fun in the moment, but then you left feeling worse. On the other hand, there's real fun. So this is the joy and the self-respect that you earn when you do something that is challenging, something that is rewarding. So things like going on a hike, talking to a friend in person, actually making eye contact with them. It's even climbing a tree, right? Or jumping into a muddy puddle, doing stuff that we would used to do as kids, that natural dopamine. That's real fun. Going to the beach and going for a swim. Driving a car with your mates or something, right? Those things are real fun. They're what that's the dopamine we get from that is directly correlated to the effort we put in, what we earned. And this is the fun that feels right. It's like our soul agrees with it. So the question I want to ask you is, would you rather feel comfortable now, even if it's fake? Or do you want the deep satisfaction and that natural peace and joy that comes from making the right decision now for the long term? And the truth is, we already know the answer to that, right? Obviously, we want to feel the natural fun. But when you look at your choices, it doesn't really show that. It's because the challenge is making the choice when you are confronted with it. When you are confronted with the option, do I just scroll for an hour, or do I go to the gym, or do I cook a healthy meal, or do I go and catch up with a mate? The thing is, the trap is the fake fun is easier in the moment. It's easier because it rewards you straight away. Discipline is the skill of choosing what's uncomfortable in the moment when comfort presents itself. Discipline is not simply willpower, but it's rather a skill. You build discipline by pursuing what is uncomfortable on purpose. You actually become the version of yourself is a reflection of the habits and the choices that you've made over time. So I think the best way to have this effect, right, where you're feeling that delayed gratification, is by redefining what fun is. So fun is progress. It's making gains towards your goal, whether that be in the gym, whether that be in your diet, whether that be in your relationships, in your business, whatever it is, right? Progressing towards a certain goal, it's fun because it keeps us wanting to find ways to get better, right? It's that reward that we earn that's so satisfying. I'm sure you've had this where you've done hard days of work and you look back at it and you're like, man, I'm so glad I did that. Fun is also challenge. So when you actually do something that you don't even know if you could do it, but you still go after it anyway, that's so rewarding. And that's what real fun is. When you pursue a challenging task and it requires all of you, that's when you're more invested. And when you're more invested into something, you feel so much more reward from that. And fun simply means just being able to look in the mirror and be proud of the version of you that you have become. So by making those disciplined decisions where you are constantly thinking about delayed gratification, and the version of you that you look in the mirror is the accumulated result of your disciplined choices, that's fun. I'm actually at a point now where I enjoy the quote unquote boring habits. It almost feels like I gain XP every time I do it. So whether it's meditation, it's lifting, it's journaling, it's stretching, I derive fun from seeing myself progress in those areas. Fun is when you are able to see how you can improve through the decisions that you make. It's not exciting, but it's powerful. The thing is, when your routine is dialed in, your overall life becomes better. You start to derive more fun from everyday moments. Hanging out with mates, going to the beach, going on sunset walks, they all feel 10 times better because you as a person are better. And the thing that's even more powerful is when you choose to delay gratification, the fun that you have is a reward, not a distraction. So there's two versions of you. I want you to picture this. There's a version of you who is locked in, right? So let's use the analogy of you're on a diet, right? You're trying to cut down and trying to look good, right? So version of you one, the first version of you is the version of you who was disciplined on his diet, right? He tracks his calories. He doesn't eat the donut when he's tempted to. He goes for runs to burn off calories. That version of him, when he's at the beach and he takes his shirt off, he will be so proud of the physique that he's built, and he will say, man, it was so worth all the effort. The second version of you is the second version of you is the person who is on a cart, stays consistent for 3 days, gets bored, he eats a donut when he feels like it, he stops tracking his calories, he starts skipping runs, his cardio, and then when he goes to the beach, he takes off his shirt, and even though his mates are saying, oh man, you look so good, he knows deep down that he could have been leaner, he could have looked better. And I know that may seem like a superficial example, but that's what it's like when you choose instant gratification over delayed gratification. You don't feel proud of the progress you've made because you knew that you could have done better. It's like if you put 60% effort into something, you're not going to really care about it as much, or you're not going to be proud of it. Versus the version of you who is dialed in, who is locked in, who chose to delay gratification, that version of you is going to be so much more fulfilled when you finally achieve that goal, because you know that you gave it your best. And so a handy way of visualizing this, and a good life philosophy that I have, is if you've got fun, right? So actual real fun, real rewarding fun, and you've got work, something that is purposeful, is meaningful that you're working on. If you have two versions of the spectrum, you want to stay as little in the gray area as possible. So the gray area is when you have free time and you're not working on something that you find meaningful and purposeful, like you're actually making progress, or you're not actually experiencing the rewards and the true earned fun that you got from the fruits of your labor. You're just sort of in this middle zone where you're not really doing either. You just have free time and you're sort of wasting it, right? That's what I call the gray zone. My philosophy is I want to live as little hours in the gray zone as possible. You see, the modern world is literally designed to keep you in the gray zone, whether it be through Uber Eats instead of cooking, or even porn without love or commitment. Both of them in this world is designed to give you the reward without the effort. Men are weaker and more dissatisfied because we stopped earning our wins. We stopped earning our for our work. We don't get the reward from it. And so we find ourselves under-challenged, overstimulated, and we're left feeling empty inside. So when I go up the coast over the summer holidays, we usually go fishing, and usually I never feel like fish and chips, right? But it's only until I've actually spent an hour or two fishing that I actually feel like fish and chips. And the point is, effort makes the reward so much more fulfilling. Yeah, I'm sure this is like a common theme in this video, is the more effort you put in, the more the reward will be fulfilling. And so I'm not against fun, having fun, resting, having some downtime. But I just believe that joy hits different when you've put in the work. Every decision that you make is a vote for the future version of you that you want to become. And so if you want to be better, cast more votes to the version of you that you actually want to be. Remember, the future version of you will be the accumulation of the choices that you make today. So choose the right ones.